Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Mount Tammany Ridge channel. It is now the following weekend, and luckily this weekend I've got both Saturday and Sunday off. So I'm hoping I might be able to make a little bit of progress in the welding realm of things. As you can see here, I got a few of my parts laid out here. Obviously the wedge, I'm sure you can probably see that again, maybe not. So I got the wedge here. I got the two plates that are gonna surround the wedge at the end of the splitting chamber. And then I've got my two shims here. Now, the other day in the video, I had mentioned that in a later time or video, I was going to discuss with you how it is I was going to get the spacing for the wedge to be able to move up and down freely within its, I guess its pocket, right, or its location, whatever. So washers is what I'm going to use, and I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit closer. I'm sure you guys could probably already imagine in your head what's going to happen, but for those that maybe are watching that don't, I'm going to try to bring that a little bit to the surface for them. All right, so I'm going to be using washers here. Now these washers, I'm not sure if you guys can see that in the camera or not, but they're not super thick, okay? I'm really looking for a little bit of a tighter tolerance, at least in the beginning. Being that this is mild steel, it's not hard ox, it's not any kind of special steel where it's, you know, super hardened or anything. So this stuff is probably going to want to misshape relatively quickly in comparison to something like hard ox. So I want to make the fit initially a little bit tighter than maybe something you might see on, you know, like an Easton Made or a Wolf Ridge. They can pretty much be right on the money with their measurements and not really have to worry about it getting sloppy unless it was like a really long period of time. Those guys build some serious pieces of equipment. However, this is just a farm fresh manufacturing facility here. So now I'm going to be using these washers. Now I'm going to put 4 on one side, and I'm going to put another 4 on the other side. So really, in reality, the space is going to be twice the thickness, okay, by the time it's all said and done. So that's how I'm going to get the spacing I feel that would be good. Now, before I go on, I commit to welding all this stuff in. I'm gonna mock this up and get an overall thickness measurement of this and an overall thickness measurement of the space that will be left in between here, so I can get a legit idea of what it is that I'm gonna be getting for thickness. Just so if I need to make it a little bit wider, I can do so. So right now I'm gonna get into welding these plates, these shims, on both sides of the web here. I wanna get them in and get them ready to receive these larger side plates, the 1/2-inch plates that are going to house the wedge. All right, so let's get that welder fired up. I'm gonna get that stuff welded in there and cleaned up, so that way I can get these side plates in there. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of grinding on the welds, only because I want to be able to get these plates in. So I'm still gonna need to be doing a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of beveling to accommodate the welds. You know, you don't wanna grind your welds out, otherwise you don't have a weld. So, but just a little bit of cleanup work from both surfaces, and we'll get these fit in there nice, and we'll see how these spacers work out. Well, it's not the prettiest weld, that's for sure, but I'm pretty certain it's gonna hold. You know, I was looking at this weld and I'm thinking, you know, I wonder if I should start my own welding channel called the Wanderers Club. I'm all over the place on that sucker. Yeah, so unfortunately, those are the results that you get when you really, well, you don't do this every day. The joke I always kind of say about myself is that I usually end up getting really nice welds by the end of the project, when it's pretty much ready to wrap it up. But I'm confident these are going to hold, and we're going to get in here before I flip it all over and do the other side. I want to clean these up a little bit. Just a little bit, knock the high spots off, and then we'll flip to the other side. That way, when we start, you know, putting these other plates on that surround the wedge, I won't have to worry about these high spots holding the plate up off of the weld. The weld's holding the plate up off of this plate. So. Yeah, we're going to knock them down a little bit and see what it looks like. Super tight fit before. Definitely going to be taking some off. Wow. I'm kind of thinking the welding actually drew that in. Bit. So, I think what I might do here, a little bit of bonus footage for you. These things are kind of, you know, they give you that Chinesium feel, but might have to put an extender on there. Let me go grab a extension. Which is usually the case when it comes to this stuff. Ah, looky, look. Okay. So this porta power is a 4,000 psi, or well, no, sorry, 4,000. What am I talking about? It is a 4-ton. I don't know why. I guess all night last night I was looking at what do you call it? Looking at pumps and valving and all that kind of stuff. So naturally, my brain is on PSI, not tons. Guys, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing it. Yeah, she really drew that in there tight. Wow. It don't seem like this 4-ton porta power even wants to entertain fudging that beam. So it looks like I might just have to take some material off. Gotta be really careful with these things. If they jump out of there, they could break something. Okay, so I got it to move. That's good. However, is it going to stay moved? Is the question. Maybe I'll kind of give it a little extra. Now, just so you know, when I'm up on my toes and I'm pushing down on that, I'm putting all my weight on that. I just got my hand there. I'm not pushing on that. That would be looking for trouble. Basically just keeping my hand on there in case it does pop out, I can, deflect it. So, all right, let's see. We definitely moved it. Let's see if it's gonna allow me to put that plate in there now. So I've been banging and dragging sticks and drilling holes, and well, at least a hole over and over again, I guess. So I got one of the plates on. I got this here sort of hard faced. I'm torn as to whether I want to go crazy with getting these, all in between the beads all filled in. Basically what I'm doing here is each layer from the H-beam web to each shim on each side, plus here the outside plate, which is going to hold the adjustable wedge. I wanted to get all those seams closed up for integrity purposes, and also so I could take the flap disc, the flap wheel, and come in here and try to smooth this out and make it so that it's going to be easy for the wedge to slide up and down. So and that is definitely the case at this point. It's fine the way it is. Nobody's really going to be looking at that every day. It's I've put a lot of weld in there just to, I was going to go crazy and try to make it all perfectly smooth. And it's good enough. It's very, very strong, very strong. So I just got done drilling a 1/2-inch hole. Reason being, at this point, is because I actually got distracted and came back and forgot one step, and that was to bring these plates over to the drill press, get that set up, and get these holes drilled through with the drill press. That would have been way easier. And I'm going to do that with the other plate. I just need to flip this H-beam over. I'm going to lay the other plate down on this one. I'm going to get a mark, and then I'm going to take the other plate over before I weld it in, and I'm going to drill it on the drill press, because I haven't had that drill press running in a long time. There was an issue with it. Turned out to be a lot more simple than I thought it was. I thought the switch was fried, or maybe the motor, and that was many years ago. And it turns out I just needed to replace the plug on it. But that's on me, because I could have had that drill press back running a long time ago, but I just threw my hands up in the air and out of frustration and just walked away from it, assuming it was a goner. So thankfully I have that thing back. Very happy about that. But so this is where I am at this stage. Now, like I said, I'm going to flip this thing over. I'm going to get that other plate. I'm going to get that hole marked out, and then in a little bit we'll be going over to the drill press, and we're gonna get this other hole cut in here. That way I can get this thing in place. We're moving along. All right, everybody, so it's coming along, right? So it's coming along. So obviously I kept the original rear brace there for the cylinder. No sense redoing that. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So here we are. That's the tallest the wedge is gonna stand. I'm trying to remember what the heck the measurement on that was. I got tape measures over there. I'll go grab that. But back here in this area, I'm gonna be cutting off the excess here. I'm gonna put in a backbone that's gonna come up about 5 inches. And that's gonna help give that a little bit more support as the wood's getting pushed through this way. When that wedge kind of, wants to do that backbone that sticks up another 5 inches is gonna help keep that all together. So you might notice there was a couple parts in the video where I was having quite a bit of trouble with my electrodes sticking, and for the longest I was like getting so frustrated I couldn't figure it out. It turns out I guess the last project that I did, I think it was either my mother, maybe Mom and Teresa, I was tired, they knew I've been working hard at getting something fixed, whatever that was. And they do that. They'll come out here at the end of the day and they'll help me, gather things up and, get the garage passable again. And I think what might have happened was they hit the dial for the welder. I'll show you. So I'm running a Hobart. It's a Stickmate LX, and I've loved this thing. This thing has been awesome for me doing thicker metal projects. I always go to the stick welder. My MIG welder is good. It's very good, actually. However, I do run into problems with the feed wheel. You know, I'll get like a piece of slag or something in the end of the gun, and then it backs up. The feed wheel, you know, bends up my my wire, and just frustrates the heck out of me. It happens more often than I'd like to admit, but it does. So I'm running this thing on DC positive. There was an old YouTube channel I watched back, probably 15 years ago, and I remember something about them saying that this particular welder doing what I do generally, DC positive, can't talk, DC positive is really the way to go. Now what I think happened is this dial was about it was basically at 6 o'clock all the way down at the bottom, and that made this white dial indicator, it was almost all the way back to 70, and I was, you know, always closer to 90, between 85 and 90, and that was the reason why my electrode kept sticking. So anyway, that's the reason why the welds and the welder was acting up. Wasn't really doing what I expected it to do. I'm glad I thought to look over there and see what the heck was going on. Sure enough, the setting was messed up. But yeah, it's a lot of work. I really enjoy doing this. This is actually something that I want to do most of the time when I'm welding. It's something that I have to do for a repair or something. Now, I'm not saying that I don't have to do this. I have to do this. I need a splitter that I'm going to be able to work more efficiently, because the amount of time that I have at the end of the day, on days that I can process wood, is usually pretty limited. I'm usually, you know, having a race with the sun going down, which is always the case. You know, so it's things like that. If I had the time to go and get a second job and make enough money, you know, to do all the things that need to be done here, I would just go do that, because that's just a lot easier. Unfortunately, I find myself in a position where I need to do a bunch of odds and ends, you know, after work and on my days off to get this stuff to come together for me. And because I'm already spread that thin, I just can't seem to make enough money to go and get, you know, a commercial splitter to kind of to fit in. Even an entry-level commercial splitter would have been great, but you know, I just I can't get past a certain $1,000 number, because by the time I get to that number, I've had a vet bill or something like that comes up, and then I wind up, you know, $1,000 or less or more in the hole instead of to the better. Anywho, so I know I'm preaching to the choir. There's a lot of you folks out there just like me, and I'm happy to be here on the YouTube platform, you know, kind of doing the firewood thing, and, you know, doing a little bit more than the firewood thing. I think maybe some of you guys might find this content a little bit more refreshing. It's not the typical firewood content that you see throughout the Woodhound community. And yeah, I hope you guys like this stuff. If you do, hit me up in the comments, you know, give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. What do you think? Do you like watching this stuff? Because I plan on doing more of it. There is no doubt about it. I plan on tinkering with this stuff more, not just with this splitter, but there might be something in the works as well for the future. So not going to get into that, but it could be years from now. It could be, you know, months from now or a year from now. But all I can do is cross my fingers and hope things just keep coming together that way. And at this point right now, I think I'm going to call it the video for this weekend, and I will bring you guys back with me tomorrow when I'm working on this thing, continuing, you know, the manufacturing of of this Mount Tammany Ridge splitter. So you guys have yourselves a good evening. I'm glad that you hung out with me for at least for a little bit, watching what's going on here. And if you could, hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you guys on the next video.